Hey, what's up climbers? It's Jacob Marzik from Jaybird TV, and today we're diving into posture. Why climbers can have poor posture and what we can do to have better posture. So first off, let's talk about what is good posture. Now, good posture comes from a few different things, but there's two cues I want you to focus on during the day to keep your posture perfect. Now, the first one, if we're standing feet shoulder width apart, we want to think about having a crown on top of our head. So our chin is nice and level. And the two cues I want you to work on are one, tucking the hips. So tucking the hips in, and then two, pulling the shoulders back. So if I'm here, tucking the hips and pulling the shoulders back. Now, and one thing we can avoid here is overly arching our back in order to feel really tall. That's where we want to tuck our hips to get our core activated as well. And the body should be in a nice straight line. So that's for during the day. Think about tucking your hips and pulling your shoulders back and wearing that crown because you're basically royalty, my friend. Now let's talk about 5 exercises we can do that are gonna help strengthen our body and strengthen those muscles that we need for proper posture. Now, one area that it's common to become weak in that will affect your posture is in our upper back. And what we want to focus on specifically is proper scapular retraction and protraction. We really want to strengthen our scapulas. So the first exercise are going to be scapula pull-ups. Come over here with me. So grabbing a bar, go ahead and just go straight arms and sink down. And you'll notice that here my head is kind of right on my shoulders. Now, what I'm doing is pulling my shoulder blades down and back. And from there, just pull my shoulder blades down and back, and it helps to look up as well. And this is pulling my scapulas down and back. And you can even take it one step further and start to lean back if you want to engage your lats as well. But we're really focused on working that scapula. Now, if you think this is too easy, go ahead and take one arm off and go for one arm scapular shrugs. So here, and then working the scapula as well. But I'd recommend starting with 2. It might feel a little bit easy, but we don't want to overly fatigue the other muscles. We really just want to work on our scapula. So another one to kind of complement that is going to be scapular protraction, in which we're pushing our shoulder blades forward. Now this one's a little bit different. So we're going to come down into a push-up position. We're going to have good form in our push-up. And imagine if you went down and then came to the top of your push-up. What you want to do is actually push further and protract. And now in order to isolate this movement, what we want to do is in a plank, come down, squeeze our shoulder blades together, and then push up. And you'll notice that this allows me to come in, let my scapulas retract, and then protract. And just rep those out, just like we're repping out our scapula pull-ups. Now, those are 2 great ways in order to strengthen them. And a third way is to just go with straight arms and do Y's, T's, and I's. You can either do this laying on a bench, or if you want to go ahead and just do slightly bent knees, leaning forward, neutral spine. We're going to go like this and just bring our arms out and back. Now, it may look a little bit dumb or feel a little silly, but really focus on pulling those shoulder blades together. And this would be the T because my arms are forming a T. And this would be a Y. And you can see even for me, that range of motion is a little bit tricky, a little bit difficult, and an I would just be coming all the way up. So you can rep those out either in that slightly bent over position, or if you want to come onto a bench, you can do them that way too. So here, and then pulling back, and Y, and I, and so forth. And that, just like our scapula pull-ups and our scapula push-ups, we're going to start to really strengthen the upper back. All right, so that's one area we really want to focus on. Now, what is another area? And that is going to be our hamstrings, our glutes, and our lower back. And this is an area that is really commonly neglected. So there's 3 exercises that I want you to focus on here, and they're all going to be on the ground. So our first one is going to be a reverse plank. So we have our legs straight, we're bringing our shoulders back, and then we're going to go ahead and go up into a plank. And once, just like when you're doing a normal plank, we're activating everything. We're squeezing the core, we're squeezing the glutes. If you want to make it more challenging, you can bring one leg off the ground. Now, another great one that I think is actually a little more challenging is going into a bridge instead. So feet are shoulder width apart, my hands are facing backwards, and then from here, I'm gonna bring my hips up until it's nice and level. Huge here, really pull the shoulder blades together and squeeze the base of those triceps. Now this is really going to open up your shoulders, open up that chest, strengthen the triceps, the back of the shoulder, as well as the scapulas again. You can either rep it out here or just hold it. And this one might feel a little bit tight, a little bit difficult, but just work within your range of motion and that will become stronger and increase. Now, the last one I want to do is a glute bridge. And this is a great way to bring some weight in as well. If I had a dumbbell, just actually grab some weight. You can go nice and heavy on these. But I'm gonna grab my weight, I'm coming down to the ground, I'm loading this up on my hips, and then from here, you'll notice my head is back on the ground, my upper back is flat, and I'm actually gonna bring up, and I'm gonna squeeze my glutes here. And what this is doing is strengthening my hamstrings, strengthening my glutes, and my lower back. And you can go pretty heavy for these. Great way to really strengthen that. If you don't have weight, no worries, just go ahead and rep them out. You can even take one leg off the ground, hands down if you want the support, but trust me, rep out a few of those and you'll start feeling that. So with those exercises, we're gonna go ahead and strengthen our ability to pull the body up in a straight line. We're gonna strengthen our lower back and our glutes, and there's two more just for a little bonus I wanna go ahead and show you as well. So we've already talked about how to work on our upper back and our scapula, but here's one more exercise you can do that's really gonna help work on it, and that's coming down to the ground. Put my forehead into the ground here, I'm laying flat, gonna do a thumbs up, and then without lifting anything else off the ground, I'm gonna raise my thumbs into the air. And go ahead and give you all a little thumbs up. Now that's really gonna once again work on the upper back. You're gonna feel that in your traps, in those scapulas, in the back of your shoulder. Another great one to work on. Once again, we're not really going for hypertrophy to tear those muscles and rebuild them. We're just looking to strengthen those muscles that are really often neglected. Now, one more little bonus workout I want to show you. And this one is really gonna challenge you. So we're gonna grab a bench and we want it at a slight incline as such. And you're gonna notice that I'm gonna go really light on my weight here. You can even do this without weight. But what we're gonna work on here is really work on the back of our shoulder and once again those scapulas. I'm sure I've said that word maybe 30 times, but it's a big way to really improve your posture. And we're gonna go ahead and come in here and I'll actually just show you first without weight. So you wanna extend your arms out at a bent arm angle, and then we're gonna go from up top, and then rotate on down. And this one is really gonna challenge your shoulder flexibility. It's really gonna challenge your ability to pull those shoulder blades together. And of course, we're just gonna add weight and perform the exact same thing, but this one is really tough. So bring that chest forward, we're coming here, and then we're gonna rotate down, and then rotate back up again, and trying to keep our arms out at a straight angle. That's a really tough one, but if you want to challenge yourself, try that one out. But please take some of these. Don't forget about those conscious cues of tucking your hips and pulling your shoulders back, and begin to see that posture improve on the wall and off the wall. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something. Have a great day. Peace.